The first cell phone call was made 40 years ago today by an executive at Motorola. His name, Martin Cooper. And here he is holding one of those famous early mobile phones, the Brick, as they were called. The very first mobile caller is joining us now via Skype from California. Martin Cooper, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, it's my pleasure. Delighted to be here.
You changed all of our lives. You changed all of our lives. So I want to just first of all ask you what it feels like to have been at the origin of an invention that has revolutionized the way humanity communicates.
Well, it depends on how you feel about it. If you think it's a good thing, then I'm really pleased that it happened.
Well, I wanted to ask you that. Do you think it's a good thing that every single person is now connected 24/7 with everyone else?
Yeah, I really do. I think people are safer now. They have more convenient connections to other people. But most of all, they are more productive. And that's really the most important thing of all.
What gave you the idea?
Well, you know about mother is a necessity of invention. What gave me the idea is that we had to do a dazzling demonstration to persuade the world that this little company in Chicago, Motorola, could make a better cell phone than AT&T, the biggest company in the world, who had actually invented the concept of cellular telephony. So we had to prove that handheld cell phones were the way to go, not car telephones.
And then you made that first ever cell phone call to your counterpart at AT&T. What did you tell him?
Well, I told him that, Joel, I'm calling you from a cell phone, but a real cell phone, my personal handheld portable cell phone. And there was silence at the other end of the line. And to this day, Joel doesn't remember that call, and I guess I don't blame him.
And this was a brand new concept, something that in 1973 sounded maybe like science fiction. You're not calling a place. You're calling somebody, a person who is mobile, who could be anywhere.
That's exactly right. We really did change the very nature of what a phone call is. And remember, at that time, there were no cordless phones. There were no personal computers, no digital cameras, no internet. It was really a very different world.
Did you expect, when you came up with that first cell phone, that almost every single individual in the world, because now the developing world, of course, relies very much on cell phone communication, more so than fixed line communication. Did you expect that it would be as ubiquitous as it is?
Oh, you bet. You bet. We had a joke that we told that someday in the future, when you were born, you would be assigned a telephone number, and if you didn't answer the phone, you had died.
That's almost like a social security number, but at least it allows you to make a call. I want to ask the visionary of the early 70s who revolutionized all of our lives 40 years ago. How will we be communicating with each other 40 years from now, do you think?
Oh, at that time, you will not have to do an awkward thing like lifting the phone up to your ear. You're going to have the phone embedded under your skin with a very powerful computer who will be at your bidding. And you will just say to the computer, get so-and-so on the phone, and that you'll be talking to that person and perhaps looking at them as well. But it'll be much more convenient than it is today and much more reliable.
And the phone that you came up with so long ago has turned into something different, too. It's not voice and text only, of course, but in some parts of the world, those functions are secondary now. And now it's data, it's streaming, it's so many other things. So what about the device itself do you think will be different?
Oh, we have got to stop trying to make a universal device that tries to do all things for all people, but doesn't do any of them very well. I think we're going to have a lot of different specialized devices that are on our body that we don't even are not even aware of, but each one does their job optimally. So we're going to have something that might be like Google Glass, and we're going to have this phone that I talked about that's under your skin, and we're going to have patches on our body and things embedded that actually transmit our bodily functions to other people. But the phone will be much less intrusive than it is today.
All right, Martin Cooper, thanks so much for joining us. Martin Cooper, inventor of the modern-day cell phone, the man who made that first cell phone call. Thanks a lot for being with us on CNN.
Great.